Hello, this is wmpyr. Hope you guys had a good Memorial Day weekend. For this week's lesson, we're going to be focusing on something I call the fan motion. Alright, so when I first learned this technique, I learned it like this. To basically, we're going to do single stick right here, and it's going to go 1 and 2, just like that. It's a fast motion. It's fast, but it's also very light. It's a speedy motion, but it's not something that I would say hits with power. Okay, so let's do that again. So basically, I go 1 and 2, just like that. Okay, so you want to imagine the center line and make sure that your stick passes the center line when you strike. So when I come over here, I'm going to go bam, and when I go this way, I'm going to go bam, like that. Passes the center line, which is imaginary line right here. Okay, so it is a 2-strike motion, 1, 2, just like that. The arm is roughly bent in a 90-degree angle, and it's not just the wrist and the arm. I'm also turning my body. All right, so I turn my whole body 1 and 2. I involve the torso rotation in there, and my legs. I know you can't see it, but that's moving as well. I'm incorporating the whole body. All right, so the fan motion is something that, like I said, is 2 motions right there, 2 hits, 1 and 2. Right now, I'm going this one first, which it's coming from over here, and then I'm striking in this direction. Okay, so it's coming from the outside, going through the inside, and that's where I strike. Therefore, it's called an inside strike. Okay, so because I'm coming from the outside and I'm heading towards the inside, it's an inside strike. If we go this way, which is the other motion, going that way like this way right here, I'm going from the inside towards that way, past my shoulder, this way. So that's an outside strike. If you're getting confused with that, just think of the crescent kicks taught like in Taekwondo. When you kick inwards this way, coming from the outside, heading towards the inside, that's an inside crescent kick. And when your kick's going that way, when you're going out that way, that's an outside crescent kick. So the same logic is used with this as well. So right here, boom, inside strike, boom, outside strike. You could do the reverse. It doesn't have to always come from the outside. You could go. So you could actually go this way, which is from the inside going outward. So you do your outside strike, inside strike. Okay, outside, inside. So you could switch the order. So definitely try both. Okay, so practice first this way, 1, 2. Again, 1, 2. So just like that, get some reps in there, and now switch it up and go this way. Go from here to here and go 1, 2, 1, 2, and get some reps that way. Okay, so that's how I learned it. But then later on, I discovered that you could also strike this way. You could come in a vertical line. So you strike here, and then you strike that way. Okay, so it doesn't have to be up here always. You could also go boom, boom, just like that. Okay, and the same logic applies where you could actually, you don't have to go top, bottom. You could go bottom, top. Okay, bottom, top, or top, bottom. Practice both of those. It's an interesting line because now it's vertical instead of up here horizontal, top horizontal. It's now right here on the side, and if I'm holding the stick in my right hand, this is the side that's in the front. However, I'm striking basically from the left side right here. 1 and 2, just like that, or 2 and 1. Okay, there are some other angles that you can come up with that are more unorthodox, or you're going to have to figure out different types of angles, and you have to also understand what are you aiming for on the opponent. Okay, so it's not just like you could come up with an angle like this. Sure, that's fine, but what am I hitting at this point? Right here. I might be actually going for their hand. I'm just coming from a very different angle like this, over the top and around to hit their hand this way, maybe to throw them off. You know, so there's just different angles, but you have to kind of figure them out. Now, the one thing that I said earlier was that this strike is fast, but it does lack in power. Because it lacks in power, does that mean it's useless and you should remove it out of your arsenal? Maybe, it depends on you, the person. For me personally, I learned it and in my own way to give respect back to the system, even though some of it was kind of like, why are we doing this? Why are we striking like this? I mean, it just seems like no power. I tried to stay respectful towards the original system and just kept asking myself, how can I make it more effective? And why would the original founders and the elders, why would they put this into their art if, because I'm sure they thought the same thing that I thought, so there must be some missing ingredient or missing kind of perspective, so I need to figure that out. And basically, you know, over the years you keep practicing it and you start to figure out, you know, what are the pros and what are the cons. And as you do that, I feel like it starts to find its own place and it starts to make sense and it starts to become practical in its own way. But if you don't put in that kind of time, then, you know, then it's just like a really fast, flashy move. So definitely put in the time to evolve it. You should definitely know the pros and cons. And like I said, the first place to start is, yes, it is quick, but yes, it does lack power, and that's a good place to start. From there, keep working on it, or you may just say, hey, I'm not going to put it in my system. That's fine either way, but just remain respectful. Thank you for viewing, and take care, folks.